Welcome to the Rant. I'm John Shannon. We can't even really call this a rant this time. I want to go off on a completely different subject. Fact is, now that I've been out here in Little Rock for about a month, I wanted to tell you a little bit about my new hometown, if you will. Gotta tell you, I was pleasantly surprised. I set out about 10 years ago when I left the Minneapolis-St. Paul area. I set out looking for I guess you could say, the ultimate tourist trap in which to drive a cab, in which I made it to Las Vegas and Orlando, looking for just that perfect spot, I guess, to drive cab. And if you'd have told me that along these travels, if you'd have told me that I was going to end up in Little Rock, Arkansas, I'd have told you to put the crack pipe down, quite frankly. I would have never believed in a million years I'd wind up here. Truth is, other than this kind of unexpected cold snap that we've had, and the snow here in early March, which, as I understand, is a little unexpected. Other than that, the weather here has been wonderful. This is a very refreshing place. I gotta tell you. For the first time, I think I found a city, for one thing, that has more churches than it does bars, which is kind of funny. It's amazing, though, and people here do take religion very seriously. It's mentioned openly in the media, on the newspapers, on television, radio. Church and religion is a very big part of the life fabric here in Little Rock, and I guess this is traditionally the area that's referred to as the Bible Belt, I guess, and appropriately so. But that said, you would think that a town like that, you would think, well, there's absolutely nothing to do, and that's the furthest from the truth. Little Rock has several areas that have very good restaurants and nightlife. There's not an overabundance of what you would call adult establishments. There's only, as I understand it, there's only one strip club in town. There is, believe it or not, also a gay club, which, as I understand, is one of the best clubs for that particular lifestyle in the South. And it actually kind of surprised me to hear that there was a gay club in Little Rock, to tell you the truth. But not that no, sorry, don't get the rumor mill started. I don't patronize those kind of places, but I will tell you that in my experience in this business, gays happen to be some of the best customers a cab driver could find. They're good tippers. You never have to worry about them getting violent or out of control or anything like that. Especially for those guys that drive cab at night. They're very good passengers. Okay, now I'm getting off on a little bit of a tangent here. Um, Little Rock actually really isn't a bad place to drive a cab. There's one company in Little Rock, one cab company. There's about 100 cabs or so with that company. I'd say probably they got about 80 of those 100 on the street, and they're shifted by 24 24-hour, 24/7 cabs. So they're leased continuously. So any given time, there's maybe 30, 35 cabs on the street, and for the amount of business we have, that's about right. That's about perfect. Not a bad place to make a living as a cab driver, at least so far, so good. And if you get out, of the central city of Little Rock, and you get out into the mountains a little bit, especially out to the west. Very beautiful. You get out there into the Wichita National Forest. I had a fair that took me about 30 miles west of town yesterday, and of course it was just after our snowfall. We got about 2.5 inches of snow, just enough to coat the trees. It really didn't stick to the pavement all that bad. Very beautiful setting. I mean, being from Minnesota, I don't remember snow being that beautiful, to tell you the truth. Of course, come about March, when you were in Minnesota, you got tired of snow at that point in time. You were ready to say no more. So, no, I went on about a 15-mile stretch of one particular road that had pine trees on both sides of the road, and they were all snow covered, and it was very beautiful scenery. I gotta say, I really like it. The people here in Little Rock are very friendly. I tell you, for somebody, of course, now I've spent the last couple of years in Texas. There hasn't been in Wichita Falls and Corpus Christi. There weren't a whole lot of black folks in those two towns. I've definitely made up for it here in Little Rock. I think I read before I came out here, I'd read that the population, that blacks actually made up almost half of the population. I think it was 49%, if I'm not mistaken. And it's great because I hate to use the term well-behaved, but even with that high a concentration of black folks, you don't see the urban problems that you may see in maybe similar cities like St. Louis or Memphis that has a likewise number as far as blacks are concerned, and I think a lot of it has to do with the religious background a lot of these folks have. You just don't see a lot. You don't see a lot of the gangs here. I'm sure there are, but you just don't see it. Don't see a lot of graffiti, a lot of tagging. It's actually, I got to tell you, it's quite refreshing. I felt very comfortable here. Folks are very nice, and the black folks here in town treat this old redneck pretty well, I got to say. Well, I got to split. I got cutting it kind of short here, so till next time, this is John Shannon, the Redneck Cabbie. Adios.